Hi friends and subscribers, I hope you're all doing well. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my CD buying rules. So these are the rules that I make for myself when I'm buying CDs. So I have 6 rules which I've typed up on my phone. So the first rule that I want to talk about is do I need to have all the albums released by the band or artist? And I'm talking just studio albums. Most of the time, yes. Bands that I really love, like Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, AC/DC, Metallica, Beatles, Rolling Stones, Rainbow, there's loads, Deep Purple, that I probably do want to have all the albums. And then there's other bands I love, like the Beach Boys and who else? Megadeth, where I'm probably not going to want to own every album, because not every Beach Boys album is that good. I think their 60s albums are great, so I'd want to have probably all their 60s albums. They had a couple of good ones in the early 70s, like Sunflower and Surf's Up were good, but after that I just lost interest in them completely. The Moody Blues is another band. I think their albums between 1967 and 1972 are great. After that, they just became too poppy for me. They started doing more disco music, which was a real turn off for me. So, yeah. And then there are some bands and artists where, I'm happy just to have the greatest hits. So, yeah, but most of the time, yeah, I do want to have all the albums by a band or artist, but there are some exceptions. But yeah, that's my first rule. Now, my second rule is doubles. So basically having 2 copies or more, or like multiple copies of the same album. That's not something that I do. I know some people like to do it, and it's fine if that's what you like to do, because there's like different releases of it, like different, you have an original release, a remaster, and then maybe a deluxe edition, remix. But that's not me. I think 1 copy is enough for me. If it's in good condition, it plays correctly, it sounds good, then I'm good to go. And plus, I need to save. I like to save space and money. So, yeah, I don't need to own multiple copies of the same album. That's just not me. And then the third rule is greatest hits albums. I don't usually buy greatest hits albums. If I have all the albums from the band or artist, I don't bother buying greatest hits. Some people do. Some people like to have greatest hits, because they're completists. But I just don't think they're necessary unless they have some songs on them that are not on the studio albums. So there might be some singles that they released that didn't make it onto the albums. So yeah. Yeah, so if that's the case, then yeah, I will buy them. If them songs are not available elsewhere, then yeah, I'll buy a compilation that has them on. And there are some bands where a greatest hits is probably all I need. So stuff like Cat Stevens and Cat Stevens. All I have is his greatest hits. That's all I need, really. I love Cat Stevens, but all I need is his greatest hits. Madness, I love Madness, but I'm happy having just the greatest hits. But yeah, so there are some artists where I'm happy just to have the greatest hits. But most of the bands that I like to listen to, I like to have the albums. But yeah, like I say, unless there's songs on those compilations that are not available elsewhere, that are not available on a studio album, then yeah, I'll pick it up. Like the Rolling Stones had some songs that weren't on studio albums, so yeah, I have a few of their compilations just to have those songs that are not on the studio albums. So yeah. So yeah, that's greatest hits. That was my third rule. Rule number 4 is live albums. Now, I don't usually look for live albums as a rule. I like live albums, I appreciate them, but as a rule, I don't really go looking for them when I'm collecting albums from a band or artists. I usually just focus on the studio albums. But I do appreciate live albums, and yeah, if I come across a live album by a band or artist that I love, then yeah, I'll grab it if the price is right. So yeah, if it's a Queen live album or Beatles or Rolling Stones one or Black Sabbath one or Deep Purple, yeah, sure, I'm gonna buy it. If the price is right, then yeah, I'll grab it. But yeah, generally I don't look for live albums. That's just me. It's just them. I do think live albums. I think they just sound too samey these days. They just repetitive. It's just them playing the same songs that they always play. You know, they just play the same songs over and over. But yeah, you know, I appreciate live albums. I understand the appeal of them, but I just don't look for them as a rule. And then rule number 5 is blind buys. So basically, buying something out of curiosity that you've never heard of before. And yeah, sometimes I do blind buys. If it's something that I think that I'm going to like, then yeah, I'll grab it if the price is right. This was one of my blind buys, the complete VIPs. I showed this in my CD collection video that I did just yesterday. So yeah, they're a British band from the 1960s, formed in Carlisle. They do a lot of blues and Motown covers. Yeah, I'd never heard of them before. I just saw this on the shelf in the charity shop, and you know, it was I paid about £2 for it. So I thought, yeah, I'll give these guys a listen. They seem very interesting, and yeah, I like them. Another blind buy that I didn't actually grab it for this video. Yeah, it's on the it's in the other room, but it's the Pretty Things Rhythm and Blues Years, which I also showed in my CD collection video. You would have seen it. That was also a blind buy because I'd never actually really heard the Pretty Things before I bought that CD. But you know, I liked the artwork. It's very 60s. I liked how they all looked. So yeah, I'm probably going to like this music, and I did. So yeah, blind buys, if the price is right and if it's something I think I'm gonna like, then yeah, I'll grab it. But if it's overpriced, then I'm just not gonna bother. And then the last rule that I want to talk about is, will I play the CD? You know, will I actually take it off, like grab it from the shelf and listen to it? Because that's important to me. You know, most of the CDs I have in my collection I listen to anyway. You know, I've got some that I haven't listened to for a long time, but that doesn't mean I don't want to listen to them again, because I do. You know, I can't remember the last time I actually played one of my Beatles albums or one of my Queen albums, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to them again, because I definitely will, 100%. You know, it's just like other bands I've been listening to, like Black Sabbath and stuff like that. Metallica and AC/DC. But yeah, I will listen to them again. But I do have some that I do kind of regret buying because I never play them. I did show these in my CD collection video. Essential Bruce Springsteen and Essential Bob Dylan. And I did say that I'm not the biggest fan of Bob Dylan or the biggest fan of Bruce Springsteen. You know, they're talented. They're both good. You know, they're both good respective songwriters. They're just not really to my taste. But I do like some Bob Dylan songs. You know, Like a Rolling Stone is a great song, although I do prefer the Rolling Stones version from that they did on the Voodoo Lounge tour, which appears on the Stripped live album. Hurricane's also a good song. I do like Mr. Tambourine Man, although I prefer the Byrds version. But yeah, I do like a few songs. All Along the Watchtower's good as well, although Jimi Hendrix's version's better in my opinion. You know, I just can't top that version. And Bruce Springsteen, I do like Born to Run. Blinded by the Light's good, although I do prefer Manfred Mann's version. You know, Born in the USA, you know, I like some songs from these two artists, but yeah. But I bought these, like, I didn't buy them at the same time, in case you're wondering. I bought them both a couple of years ago from, like, charity shops. But yeah, I've only really listened to them just once. I haven't even listened to the whole thing. I've listened to, like, because they're both, like, double albums. I've listened to the first disc of each of them. But yeah, I've just not, like, since then, I've just not had the desire to grab them from the shelf and listen to them. You know, I just haven't. So I don't know if I'm going to keep these in my collection. Because I don't think I'm gonna play them again. But you know, I'll probably trade them. You know, because there's lots of huge Bob Dylan fans out there. There's tons of Bruce Springsteen fans. So yeah, and you know, I respect that. I'm just not a fan of Bob Dylan or Bruce Springsteen. You know, I respect them and appreciate what they do. It's just not to my taste. So that's it. That's my CD buying rules. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe. And let me know what your CD buying rules are. Or record, you know, whatever your main music format is. CD, vinyl. Let me know what rules you make for yourself when you buy CDs or records. I'd be interested to know. So thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time, and take care.